Number two, this is the second habit to highly effective people. Connect with your God-chosen mentor. This is just as valuable as hidden treasure. I have been able to go from, have you ever heard of gifted kids go from like grade 5 to grade 8? They skip a couple of grades. Having a mentor is just like skipping grades, but it's allowed. Because a mentor can say, I did that already, and that's not going to work. Or this is how I got it, and you can just use this pattern. So a lot of times, highly effective people link up with, and listen to these words, link up with. The person that you link up with, they have to be up, which means that they have to be on a higher level than where you currently are. For you to glean from them, they have to be higher than you are. Otherwise, it's here, it's horizontal. But if you want to go higher, you have to link up. Number 3, be smart with your time. Listen well, and you will get much more done. So a lot of times we keep having to repeat the same assignments, or we keep having the same issues, or we keep having the same challenges, or we keep being in the same cycles because we're not listening well enough to get the right instructions before we go. We love this story in our family. We have a brother that went to Mom Hairston when he was a kid. And he said, Mom, you need me to go with you to the store? She says, yeah, baby. We had a corner store. Y'all remember the corner store? And that store saved a lot of families during hard times, because that corner store allowed a lot of our families in the community to have a tab, right? So say it was 31 days in the month, and you kind of ran out of groceries on the 25th. Then you could go to the corner store and get those things to tie you, those key things, milk and bread and, sandwich stuff for sandwiches and, things that you needed, eggs, to get rice, flour, to get until the next paycheck. So Mom was sending my brother, one of my brothers, to the store, and she said, yeah, baby, I'd like for you to go to the store for me. And he took off running. I mean, took off like a flash. And he got all the way to the store, and then he realized he didn't have a list. So he was at the store, so he was in the right place. The place where he was had the provision, had what he needed, but he didn't have a list. So he had to come all the way back home and get the list and go back. This is what happens to us when we don't tap into the same principles the highly successful people tap into. They show up, and they are wherever they are when they are there, which is why they're so good at what they do, because they put every distraction. Do you know that when I want to be serious about what I'm doing, I will even call my children and say, hey, for the next 2 hours, you won't be able to reach me. I'll call Bishop. For the next 2 hours, I won't be accessible because I got this happening. So they show up and they're present. Number 2, they connect with their God-chosen mentors. They link up. Number 3, they're smart with their time. They listen well, and they get so much more done. So they get all of the instruction first. And then after they get instruction, they sit and they go through the instruction to see if they need clarity on any step. Then they ask for help, and then they move. And so it yields so much success. Number 4, this is really key. Use every resource. If you need supplies or more help understanding an assignment, search to find out what is freely available for you. This is like a student getting a full academic scholarship and given a student ID, but not realizing that the student ID gets them free meals in the cafeteria every day, right? So a lot of times there are resources in this world There are resources for women business leaders. There are resources for minority business owners. There are resources all around us. Do you know that everything you need, God has already provided it? He's already provided it. You just have to get linked up. You need to learn to be present, be where you are when you are there. You want to learn to really listen well, get all the instructions, and then use every resource that's available, which means that you can't just say, I can't do it. Did you ask for help? Did you call the business network? Did you call the development authority? Did you reach out to someone that might have tools or resources or sources that you can access for your development? Use every resource, especially those that are freely available. We're talking about the 5 habits of highly effective people, and here's number 5. So under number 1, for number 1, underline accessing. That's the word. For number 2, underline the word valuable. Valuable. Number 3, underline listen well. Listen well. And number 4, underline freely available. Freely available. All right? Now, number 5, do a little bit each day to avoid the spirit of overwhelm. And this is how you can supersize your peace. And here's what you want to underline. Little bit, the word day, the word avoid, and the word overwhelm. So if you delete all the other words under number 5, it would say little bit, day, avoid, overwhelm. And what people do is, I go through the same thing. If you walk into my house right now, there are 20 pairs of shoes in a line at the door. But I'll go home today and I'll have everybody get their shoes, put them up. And I'll go into the laundry room and I'll have everybody get their clothes and put them away. And I'll just put stuff away. I don't have to do a big deep clean today. I don't have to necessarily, wax floors and that kind of thing. But a lot of times we feel overwhelmed in housework, we feel overwhelmed in work, we feel overwhelmed in marriage because we want to wait until a big blow up and then get stuff done. But, even Bishop and I are learning this in our relationship. Like, instead of us having like these big, huge blowouts, what happens with us now is that when something happens that's kind of, makes one of us feel some kind of way, we wait, maybe until the afternoon or a day, and then we'll come to each other and we'll say, hey, honey, when you said XYZ, that really made me feel bad. And then we deal with it quickly, and it's over, and it's done. And we all move forward. But I think a lot of times what happens is people don't know the power of little bit, of doing just a little bit, right? Sometimes there have been times where Bishop and I would be dealing with different things like major challenges in the family, and we would just say, today, all day, we're just going to be in prayer. We're not going to use our natural words. We're going to use our spirit words. And we would see such breakthrough. Sometimes I think that we just don't know the magic, the power, the benefit of little bit, of just making one step toward where God has called you to be. You can't control everything, but if you look at your life, what can you, like when you leave this service today, what little thing can you do to help put more order or bring more peace or move you forward in your life? What can you do? I really want you to think about that. So when you look at the key words in number 5, little bit, day, avoid, overwhelm. So if every day you just do a little bit, you can avoid the spirit of overwhelm. And this is how you supersize your peace. And we got to supersize that peace. We got to hold on to the peace. We have to pursue peace because that peace is key to our success and development in life. What a powerful word we received from heaven today. Were you blessed? If so, click below, subscribe, and share.